something you said?
I wasn't here.
Oh, then it wasn't you.
But I tried
Probably
to watch
something
it.
I said.
tried to watch it.
It was Linda.
Probably
So it
something I
says-
said.
Does it say stop recording?
Yep.
All right. All right, I'd like to call the meeting for February 26th of the Charter Commission for the town of Harwich. We have a quorum. We also have a guest, Mr. Michael Ford, who is our town moderator.
Happy to be
Michael.
here.
Oh, you look happy.
Yeah, you look happy. He already said he's got pizza waiting for him.
No, that's
Move on
okay,
here.
that's okay.
All right. First on the agenda is approval of the regular minutes for February 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Just to note that the tape cut out at about 7:30. We were here till about 8:10, so we kind of did the best we could. Judy did what she could. So, any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, continuing business. Discussion with our town moderator. Thank you for coming. First off, we're interested if you have any things that you'd like to suggest to us for charter proposals. And we also would like to talk a little bit about the finance section, which is chapter 9.
Okay. So, I have a couple of comments with respect to town meeting procedure. I leave it to you to decide whether to address those, if at all. Mr. Doan, it was at 6:30 you told me to be
They
Anyway,
get snarky really quickly in here, don't they?
All right, children.
One was a consent calendar.
What section are you in, sir?
He has no idea.
Well, yeah, no, I'm gonna charter.
Damn, okay.
It would fall, if it was in the charter, under town meeting. And where it would fall is probably under section 2 warrants. And there's a difference of opinion out there among moderators statewide and select boards as to whether there has to be some enabling legislation, either in a charter or a bylaw for the select board to do it. Some towns' select boards have just done it without any enabling legislation.
To have a warrant,
No, to have a consent calendar.
consent, would you
A
define?
consent calendar is collecting articles that don't have aren't controversial, generally don't have an appropriation in them, are usually customary articles.
Yep,
And you put them at the front of the warrant, and they're treated under one vote as a consent calendar.
got it.
And you dispose of them all at once. And most consent calendars, the one I'm most familiar with is in Orleans, the selectmen decide what goes in it, using that kind of general guidance of being customary and not controversial. And then if 5 voters contact the moderator before the meeting that they want one of or more taken out, they're required to be taken out by the moderator. He makes that announcement at the beginning of the meeting, look, I've had 5 voters, and so I'm gonna eliminate that one from the consent calendar, and we'll vote on the rest. They're non-debatable, it's one vote, and you get rid of it. And so it kind of expedites the meeting a little bit.
So we should take a look at Orleans to see how their charter
Well, you know, I
phrases
actually
that?
have a copy of the consent
Just so happy.
calendar from Orleans with me. I'd be happy to
Thank
pass it
you.
up to the front, to the chair, and you can have my copy. It's 272 in that.
Alright, so the evidence. 272.
for the public's information.
Yeah.
272, the Town of Orleans Charter.
Oh.
The
yep.
order of
We don't have
consideration
one.
of the articles is printed in the warrant, may be changed only by a 2/3 vote of the town meeting. In preparing the warrant under clause 241, the select board may include in it a consent calendar listing articles which the board deems non-controversial. In the event such a consent calendar is so included, a written request by 5 registered voters before the commencement of town meeting or afterwards, an oral request by 5 registered voters prior to consideration of the consent calendar shall remove a particular article from it. All remaining articles to be considered and acted upon immediately after consideration of the consent calendar and in the order of their listing in the consent calendar.
A bit wordy, you might be able to improve the language a little bit. The first sentence doesn't apply.
Right.
That's different, that's taking articles out of order.
But second sentence does it may include, no, it
May, it doesn't require.
It doesn't require it?
No. And I don't think you should require the select board to do it necessarily.
Yeah, it does
But
use
give them
the
that
word-
option, and I think if it gets voted and it gets talked about, the select board will
Makes a
take
lot
it
of
out.
sense.
Madam Chair, may I, through you to Michael, question?
I am done, yes.
Is, how many times have you had, I mean, how many times has the consent article gone in, the consent calendar, so to speak? Is it been yearly?
Every
that-
year
yeah.
since that was adopted.
Okay. And no problems with it?
2015.
No.
Do you have many times that people remove items, or,
Once.
that's it, okay.
And we have how many customary? About 4 or 5 right now?
Yeah, I mean, and their consent calendar, the biggest one I've seen is 10 articles.
Good point.
They're usually 7, 8, 9 in that area somewhere.
But they tend to be non-controversial and non-financial.
Herring fisheries.
Herring
that's
fisheries,
what it
yeah.
is.
Herring fisheries is right there.
Now, some use a consent calendar even when there's an appropriation.
Ah.
Chatham. Bill Litchfield does a consent calendar, he's the moderator over there in conjunction with the select board. The select board put it together. But they actually do appropriations in the consent
Wow.
calendar. And they make very liberal use of it. Sometimes what I would view anyway, as a substantial article. Goes in their consent calendar, nobody says anything, and the selectmen don't think it's controversial, they vote it. So, curiously enough, Chatham has no rules of parliamentary procedure. I asked Bill what they were, he said, whatever I say they are, he said.
Did you like that one?
I said, did you decide that? No, that's what Agatobi and Bill Riley did before me. So,
And I go Toby before Bill.
right. So, go ahead.
I was gonna let him finish, Paul, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I was just responding to Mr. Waysak's.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul.
We have 4 or 5 customary articles in our town meeting, of which some of them do involve financial considerations. They're token, but there's money involved. The Cultural Council
Mhm.
has a customary article, and the
Libraries?
I don't know about the library. but
Two
Chase.
libraries.
This library, I
Two
guess that's
libraries.
right. That's right. You're exactly right. Chase and Harwich Board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Herring
And
fisheries?
I hope the funds for the Preservation Award offered by the Historic District will be in that customary category.
That may be controversial.
I'm sure it will be.
What
That's
other,
very
artic-
interesting, thank you, Mike.
what other articles might you think that have been customary? Those are the ones we always think of, the
Yeah.
libraries, the cultural council, herring fisheries is one, but
Right.
are there other ones, Michael, you would think of?
Yeah, I mean, there's annual authorizations to authorize the select board to give a bond for dredging.
Yeah, okay. yeah.
Nobody understands, and we vote on it every year. Everybody goes, oh, yeah, it's out.
We've also got the go into lease agreements.
Yeah.
There's another customary.
Yeah, there's, if you sat down and went through it,
There'd be probably 7 or 8 that we'd have.
we probably have 7 or 8.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, I think what we should do is, we're asking our new town administrator to come in. And that might be a good one also to check with the select board if they'd like to consider this. Because anything, we're trying to figure out how to, one of the things we are going to be proposing is to have 2 town meetings. May primarily financial, fall primarily non-financial, and I'm saying primarily, so not restricting it. But we're looking at that as the idea is if we can take a 3-day town meeting and get it to a day and a half here and a day there, maybe more people will come and will participate. That's kind of the thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want comments on that, I'd be
I
happy to.
do.
Sure.
Oh, okay, sure. So, several towns that I've practiced in, and before the town meetings, Mashpee one, had a requirement for a fall meeting where they did their non-appropriation stuff, the regulatory matters, the land use
Zoning
matters.
and all that, yeah.
Zoning matters, so forth. They had a real trouble getting quorums.
At both?
No,
Just
just the
in the
fall
fall.
meeting, unless they had something on that drew people's interest and so forth. But there are a lot of people that don't understand zoning, don't have a lot of interest in it, but unless it's, something that's gonna affect them and they've heard about it or they get educated on it in some fashion. So, the select board have the authority, obviously some of you have been select board members, to call a fall meeting. And historically, what we've done here in town is, I'm sure you're aware, when there is an issue that needs attention, the select board generally call a meeting, and other articles that are ripe, policy decisions, whether it's zoning or, kind of come into that warrant, and it grows. It started as 1 or 2 things that we were gonna do, and then it gets up to 10, 12, 15, or whatever. So the select board have that authority to have a fall meeting if something comes up. And of course, 200 registered voters can force a town meeting anytime they want to, under an initiative petition.
Mhm.
But to have a regular meeting, I'm not sure there's that much. My recommendation would be to leave that where it is currently, which is in the powers of the select board to hold a town meeting when it comes up. Town meetings are expensive, they require time and preparation, and I'm not so sure it's good to put your land use in a separate meeting, because I don't think it gets the crowd that it really deserves sometimes, that you would get at your annual meeting. So, but that's just my thought.
No, and we appreciate the input, because we've got a lot of ideas that have been floated here.
Yeah.
Sometimes they seem like good ideas, but I think getting other opinions is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think fall meetings sometimes are great. Sometimes you have them in December. It depends on when an issue comes up. But to require it, I'm not sure I understand the thinking behind that, because land use meetings don't draw people. It's been my experience in going to other towns where they are. Unless it's a big rezoning to allow a big project or something, or, that people get hopped up on, so.
Cool.
And I think that some zoning articles are really important, and they should be considered at the annual meeting when we're doing the annual budget and the comprehensive plan, and they should be there and get the attention of when we have 400 or 500 people. Not in the fall when you're hoping to get unless you got a big article like a new school or a land purchase or something and then things come along with that, and you have a fall meeting, so.
Good input. We'll have to chew on that a bit.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure who has a required fall meeting. Did you guys survey the Cape? Did you come
Yeah, we
up
did.
with?
We did.
Yeah, are there some charters that are requiring a second meeting
Sandy, you're the driver of this one.
on the Cape?
I don't remember, I didn't look at it, honestly. I'm going back to the original sin when we did the first 87 charter, and
I
the
think
town meetings actually worked, I thought, quite
Bruce.
well at the time.
Brewster?
Brewster does, yeah.
They require it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Charlie
Brewster?
Sumner would know on that.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be a good person to talk to. Charlie may have a good rationale as to why a second meeting makes sense,
Mhm.
because he was town administrator for so many years, and now he's moderator. so,
Oh,
yeah.
Couldn't leave quite.
Couldn't leave it, no, quite leave it.
Great.
Too much fun.
I mean,
Well, go on, Paul.
Madam Chair, one question about, you said 2 days. One of the reasons, I think, originally we discussed was because if the warrant gets to 120 articles or something, we're looking at maybe more than 2 nights. But at least in recent memory, we haven't really had a town meeting, a regular town, the spring town meeting that's gone more than 2 nights, you know? So
That's
to
correct.
Say we're
Warrants
doing
have
it
shrunk.
because we've got too much business to get through and people lose interest in the second or third night, well, there really isn't a third night.
Yeah. And, well, Sandy will know, when I first started as moderator many years ago,
I was
before there
there.
was a charter.
Thanks for reminding me.
But it was, and I came after Mr. Doan, who was there before me, so he'll know this. The warrants were
Huge.
over 100 articles
Yeah.
all the time, and town meeting went 6 nights.
Wow. Yeah.
5, 6 nights, we'd stay at it, and
And we'd be sending the firemen out to knock on doors to round up a quorum at the end, too.
towards the 4th, 5th, or
Mhm.
6th night, it was heck, and because we had a quorum of 300 then,
Oh, that's right.
we didn't have a quorum of 150 the way we do now. So, and what's happened is that budgets have brought a lot of things into them, so a lot of things get voted that were separate, and capital budgets include a lot of things, so you get rid of every article to buy a new pickup truck, and then to buy 4 police cruisers, but we had separate articles for all of that. And that's resulted in warrants getting smaller, easier to handle, and meetings getting shorter, so
Okay.
that's worked.
Lou,
Michael, one quick question or your thoughts. How about time limits in terms of each day? So instead of going to 11 sometimes, maybe 9 o'clock, cut them, something like that?
9 o'clock's a little early.
Depends on your bedtime.
Yeah, it does. I'd like to get started earlier.
Fine.
I've talked to the select board members, or a couple of them anyway, about starting this year at 6 o'clock rather than 7 o'clock. Some people have, some towns have gone to Saturday.
Yep.
mhm.
Chatham went to Saturday the last 4 or 5 years, and now they're switching back to a Monday or a Tuesday night.
You can't make everybody happy.
Right.
There's always some faction of town that can't make here, there, or everywhere else.
It is, and so I think coming down in the middle state on a weeknight, because a lot of people need their Saturdays for a lot of reasons, including business and work and so forth. But start at 6, because if we start at 7, by the time they get in their seats and you can get them going, and you
The
got the
awards.
announcements and the awards, and all of a sudden it's 7:45, and I haven't got to the budget, I'm just starting the thing, and I have tried to take no new business after 10:30. It's kind of
Yes.
just been my unwritten rule. There's no rule for that, but the voters seem to go along with it. Some of them might think that's a little too late, like yourself, I guess. But others are saying, I don't know why you don't just keep going and try and finish the meeting. If we got home at 1 or 2 o'clock, what different? We're done. So I've tried to, but I think starting earlier, not that that's necessarily in your purview of, you wouldn't stick a meeting time in the charter, but if you're talking to the select board,
Well, it's less time to get home and get really comfortable and go, never mind.
yeah.
Yes, it is. If you start at 6, there is less time for you to go home, put your feet up and say, I'm not going out again.
Yeah.
Richard?
Michael, what do you think inhibits attendance at town meeting? Because we still, even second nights, we're usually waiting for people to funnel in till we get the quorum.
Yeah. I just think there's a lack of interest. I think you see it nationwide. There's a lot of people turned off by government.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there a way to, maybe I should bring back the middle school band that used to play before the first night, and have them play the second night too, or something like that that attracts them.
All the parents come, that's.
The other thing you can do, which, I mean, a lot of towns have looked at their quorum and said, you know, we need to do something with our quorum. I think 150 works for us, but Mashpee was having real quorum problems. They went to 0.
Well, we've talked about
They get
that.
more people at their meetings now than,
Yeah.
because everybody's worried that 10 people are gonna go down there and spend a bunch of money. And so,
We'd have definitely.
they
a
have
crowd.
had unbelievable attendance since they went to 0.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Makes perfect sense.
I do too, I think it's,
I
You
love
know,
it.
it scares the hell out of some people.
sure.
Do you know if we don't get down there, they're gonna, those bastards are gonna spend, you know, another couple of $1 million
I knew
tonight.
they were trying to
So-
hide something.
Yeah. So, I mean,
We talked about that years ago, and everybody said, oh, that, you can't have that, that can't. I always thought it was kind of a good idea, it's not the
Yeah.
first time.
we have one provision where we do go to 0 in our rules of procedure. When a motion is made and seconded, duly seconded, and it's on the floor,
No matter, yeah,
Doesn't
you
matter.
can't question
do
a quorum
count.
until that
Right.
motion's been taken care of.
right.
And I brought that forward and the town adopted it as a result of situations where late at night, we'd have an article, we'd get into it,
Mhm.
9:30, 10 o'clock, and the debate would last
Yeah.
till about 11, and then somebody would look around and go,
There's no quorum.
and they'd question the quorum. So that article prevents that, because now I'd say to them very plainly, you can't question the quorum until we take this vote. So you'd get it done and you wouldn't start that long debate again. That's the background of that one. But we have one spot where we go to 0. And that's when a motion's made and seconds on the floor. But Mashpee went to 0 for their
I love it.
quorum.
And even if you lose the quorum, the meeting can continue if no one challenges it.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
right.
The concern I have is, you know, a lot of times, being an assessor, oh, you guys are raising our taxes. We don't raise taxes. No, the town meeting
Yeah.
is responsible for spending in the town. And I don't like the attitude, well, let's just get it done. This is the business of the town. You know, we should get it done, we should have debate, civil debate, and allow people to speak on what is happening in this community. I don't like that, well, let's get it done, let's go another hour, let's go to midnight so we can get it done. No, I'd rather come another night and have full debate on what we're doing as a community.
And with fresh minds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do like that you're starting earlier, because
Oh,
I know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
and it starts getting to 10 o'clock, and I'm sitting there like,
Yeah, no,
It's
and I
late.
can see people and I just,
Says the head's nodding.
and,
although I have been in, you know, sitting in the audience, there have been times where it's gotten later, and somebody will say, is there still a quorum? And a bunch of people turn around and say, shut up!
yeah,
Just want to get it done.
yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
Paul, one more
question.
comment, please.
we have had discussion about adding an additional entity, namely the Capital Outlay Committee, to make a report on the plan, the capital outlay plan, the capital plan. Allow them to make a comment. So now we have the select board is making comment, the finance committee is making comment. What do you think about, is it conceivable that with building too many people into the meeting that go on for some length and delay the start of the meeting? Could that be a problem about having capital outlay make a presentation?
I don't really see that as another reason to start early, at 6 o'clock, if you're gonna have a couple of more reports. I think those reports are healthy.
Yeah.
Now, the select board don't make a report, they present the budget as required by the charter. They're supposed to present the budget to the voters, and that's when they make their 2 cents. Finance committee is under that, we have an article, as you know,
Right.
town reports. There's no reason capital outlay couldn't go in there. I mean, capital outlay and expenditures are extremely important in terms of the overall, health of the town financially, borrowing and buying. No, I could see that.
Okay.
And again, that might not be something that's required because we have an article that, to accept town reports. And, so customarily, I've gone to the finance committee. I think last year, a member of the long-range planning committee
Yes.
who was on the planning board asked, and I there was no objection, I'd let that go forward. So that would be a spot for it, is that. So, and you wouldn't have to necessarily address it in a charter change.
You mean during the article for reports?
Right. That article usually is,
Yeah.
there's a motion made, accept and
Number
adopt
2,
all the
yeah.
town reports. Then I go to the chair of the finance committee, and this year I went to the long-range planning committee. You could go to the capital outlay committee.
The only issue there is that much of the capital outlay work is done after the committee's reports have been submitted. So it wouldn't be the report on necessarily what is in the report in the warrant or in the town reports.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the discussion about, let's say, the impact of certain things that they've acted upon in the meetings following the deadline for getting in the report for the booklet. So I guess the finance, do the entities that report relative to the article, let's say number 2 about the town report, is it a repeat of the material that's in that town report booklet, or is it more expansive?
I think it's more expansive. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the finance committee, there's no scope, except I usually ask them to keep it at 5 minutes or under if they can.
Mhm.
So, but I hear what you're saying. There may be information that's come out since the warrant book was published that's important. You could, when we get to the capital outlay budget, you could put a provision in the charter that the capital outlay committee shall provide comment to the town meeting on the capital outlay budget.
Yeah.
And then we could go put the motion on the floor and then recognize the chair or whoever wanted to
Yeah.
address the meeting from the capital outlay committee for kind of an update. And that could be a process before we get to general debate on the capital outlay. That might be a
Yeah,
better place to put
We do
it.
have some tentative language at this point that does call for a report from the capital outlay committee.
That might be a better place to put it.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think that as you plan town meeting, I think that there are places where people give a report at the beginning, or when that article comes up, because
Yeah.
the planning department or the zoning,
Right.
they don't usually give a report, but they will stand up when an article comes up to have something to say.
That's correct. You're right. That's correct.
CPC has done that traditionally. At the start of the CPC articles,
Yes.
they get up and they say a set of comments, and then there are the CPC articles.
Yes.
They don't do it at the beginning. So I think that it really all depends as to where the information is most useful, I would think. And I would also agree with you, Mike, that anything that educates the public
Yeah.
is probably a good thing.
Right, right. What about entertainment at town meetings?
We
I mean,
rely-
when Richie Rubino
It's not
is
entertaining
no
enough.
longer there,
What more do we need?
I mean, the middle school band was pretty good. I mean, it was, you know. And Rich, to answer your question, it probably brought some people in whose kids
The
played in
parents, of
band.
course, the parents are coming.
Who
You
might
gotta
not
say-
otherwise
right.
come to
How
town
about
meeting.
How about a raffle?
50-50 balls.
Moving on, because you have to have a permit from the state to do a raffle.
Yeah, it's complicated, you're right.
Listen, it's complicated.
Oh, Lord.
Okay,
We could use our
Yes,
voter
Sandy.
cards.
Michael,
Yes.
on the question of the two town meetings, one of the thoughts that I had behind it is that with more focus on the financial issues in a spring town meeting and more focus on bylaws and zoning and what have you in a fall town meeting, charter changes, that kind of thing, is that it gives you more time to educate the voters.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, you've got, that one big issue at town meeting that has to do with planning, and we're looking at a lot of those in the next few years.
Mm.
All the rest of it gets kind of shouted down.
Mhm.
So I also think it would be a lot easier on staff. And especially if you know in February that you're going to have a fall town meeting and plan around it, then there's a lot more time for staff and boards to have their hearings, their regulatory hearings and all that. And it just seems to me
I hear you.
it might give a better opportunity to get outreach to the voters and get them more interested in these things.
I hear you. Well, what you might want to do, however, rather than put it in the charter and require it, is you might want to, when you make your charter report, make that comment to the select board and say, you know, it might make some sense for you as a board to be thinking about a fall town meeting and putting some things in that. Because they could call it. They could say, okay, we're gonna,
They won't, unless they're
Well-
made to. You know that.
yeah, but,
That, you know, one board may and others may not. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets to be sometimes.
I don't know, I'm not
sometimes-
the selectmen have a right to call town meetings, but they have to call the annual and to get the budget done, but to require them to do it under the charter is,
Well, we had
Hey,
it originally.
educate 'em.
We had it originally and it did work. I don't quite, you know,
it
drop
was
the.
in our charter, I can't remember
The
that.
87, yeah, the 87 charter. It was in
Yeah.
the 87 charter for two town
And
meetings.
what was required to go in the fall meeting?
Basically, it was the emphasis on,
Maybe you still have it? You got
I
the,
can tell you.
I have the old.
yeah,
I have the
there it
old-
is, there's the
I
legislative
have-
history right there.
I have
Yeah.
the old history here, which
Yeah.
comes from the charter.
Good,
Town meeting shall meet regularly first week of May. Adopt an annual operating and capital budget and act on financial and other matters. Town meeting shall also meet regularly the first week in October to consider and act on matters of planning, zoning, and all other matters of a bylaw nature, as well as to consider other business, including matters involving an appropriation of town
Yeah,
funds.
yeah.
They were.
So it really was it was open, trying to
Right.
say, that's why I started my comment with primarily financial,
Yeah.
primarily
Yeah,
not
yeah.
financial.
They weren't
Yeah.
mutually exclusive, and there were some,
I think we got
Require-
rid of it though, because people said, why are we having
Why-
two town
what-
meetings?
what
for?"
happened to
Some
it?
years that just,
I
Why
don't
did it
know,
get
because it got.
It was
I
changed
wasn't-
at the charter update, the
Yeah,
last charter update.
I have no idea what the rationale, because I wasn't actually paying attention at the time. But, I know, human nature being what it was, is you have different boards doing, with different philosophies and what have you, and I just think that you have to put it in there. I
my
know land
recollection,
use,
my recollection is we had some forum problems.
well, then we'll declare
October
the
meeting.
quorum
Zero.
0 for the fall town meeting.
Michael,
But there are huge issues coming up as far as planning and all of that, and I don't think that those issues are going to be going away anytime soon. I expect that to be more of an emphasis going forward into the future than even finances at this point.
It's a possibility, but I will also say that, I'm on the fence, Mike, personally, on this required two town meetings. I'm on the fence for it, because I see both sides of the argument. And I do think that, I mean, even in the Maytown meeting, so many, we talk about education, Sandy, but yet so many people in our town are coming back from their winter places, and they're coming back sometime in April, and they're not educated anyway on what's going on. So, I mean, I'm not sure that this education part is as, I don't wanna say important, but there are some, drawbacks to, the timing of all kinds of
Well, you
things.
certainly would have sufficient time to educate them on the fall issues, which are, basically have a lot to do with the future of the town, more so than even the finances. The people who leave for the winter are usually still here the first week in October, and a lot of the people who are away for the winter aren't back in time for town meeting anyway, so I just think it would be a plus, but
I think we can talk about it further.
Can I just,
One more.
the interim town administrator met with us, and talking with him about two town meetings, he said, as municipalities change, he said, there are issues that come up between the annual town meetings that you may want to act on, and a fall town meeting would give you that opportunity to do it. Not restricting to strictly land use, zoning,
Well,
bylaw.
apparently it wasn't, it
Correct.
said or other matters.
And that,
Not
he
restricted.
said, as things do happen, especially in a time where we're doing wastewater, we're doing so much, there's so much facing the communities today, that there is an opportunity to say, hey, we have a couple things that we have to deal with, rather than waiting another 6 months 8 months to the May town meeting of next year. He felt was important. Other thing we've talked about quite a bit, we haven't,
He
no
was
one's
in
talked,
favor of it.
oh, very much so, as a town administrator, he was in favor of it, and having been served in 2 other communities. Other thing was education, for people coming in, we see it a lot, we've seen it over the years, well, in my town, we used to do this, and there used to be a pre-town meeting, and I know the chamber sponsored it for many, many years,
Did.
and it was a great educational tool. And I remember at the end of it, we were doing call-in. People could call in questions if they were watching it live to say, okay, what are your questions? What do you want to be educated on? And we'd have the select board there, and it was a great opportunity for people to come to town meeting educated, not seeing a warrant for the first time as they move in and they're handed their warrant and their registration card. And I think that's one of the other things that slows town meeting down. So many people just are coming for the first time, or they just are ignorant of the process of town meeting and how municipalities work. So the more that we can do to educate, I think education is important.
I think it is too.
So
Well,
it's,
I think it's important not to dismiss the voters' interest. I think the problem most voters have, most citizens have, is that they are looking at things that they don't understand.
correct.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I find, talking to people in my shop, talking to people, 4,000 people, I'm constantly getting questions about how, what, why. And a lot of it's even off the side on a chat with somebody privately. Once they start to get a sense and get interested, they want to know a little more.
Mhm.
So I think it's not, I hear all the time, well, everybody knows where we are and what we're doing, and they should make it a point to come. I hate that.
Mm.
The town should make it a point to reach out to its citizens and its voters in every way it possibly can
Mhm.
to educate them. And I think you got a lot better shot of educating people in the spring on the financial stuff and a lot of those big ticket items, and in the fall on the land use, which everybody is concerned about. I don't think there's a person in this town who's paying attention who hasn't got some concerns about land use. And I think that's gonna be a huge front and center issue for the foreseeable future.
Right. So
And
the-
it's complicated, and people need to understand it, and their eyes glaze over because everybody's talking in initials.
Yeah.
Part of it
So the
is-
question is, do you legislate it?
All right.
Thank
Or
you.
do you go to the select board and say, hey, look, this is, Orleans, for example, has a pre-town meeting, the select board hold it.
Mm.
We go through every article. The moderator's required to be there, the town council's required to be there, the town clerk, and then all the department heads. And they go through each article, and it's on TV, and the place is packed. And, and you can meet with department heads if you have a question about it. Before the pre-town meeting starts, they have coffee and refreshments. You can go over an hour early and talk to the DPW director or whatever, and it's kind of like, and you really get educated.
Is this
through
a
the warrant.
mandated thing, or
They
is this?
just made, it's
They
not
just do it.
legislated, they just do it,
Uh-huh. Well,
and,
PR.
and the select board can just do those things. They don't have to be legislated. All right, well, maybe somebody's gotta run for encouraging. If you got those kind of
I knew
ideas.
he didn't like me. I knew it.
So I just, it's just a question of whether you want to legislate it or not. It's a great idea. I love the idea. I like the pre-town meeting. I like your thoughts about 2 town meetings, but
Well,
I just
recall-
don't know whether you put it in a charter and
there
require it
was a
to happen.
point where they used to have these Saturday sessions, and you can go and talk to the various committees. And I remember being on the chair of the finance committee at
Yeah.
that point, and sitting there at a table over in the community center with budget books and stuff ready. I had not one single person come to that table
Yeah.
and ask a question about finances. No one. And there was virtually no one. That's why they were stopped doing. Nobody was coming.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can say, hold these things and the hordes will come.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not necessarily true, because the chamber no
Was
longer
there
used to.
coffee and cake?
Yeah, there was stuff.
The band was
And we
there.
should call the middle school
A
band,
little
right?
entertainment, a little food. Boy, they come, I'll tell you,
But
it's like,
there was no one there. and
Combine it
it's-
with one of Carolyn's pasta dinners.
yeah.
But
Just-
in Orleans, they get attendance for that pre-town meeting.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So why?
Well, people know that it exists, and, I think it's been kind of a tradition. And the last couple of years, they have brought in the donuts and the coffee and the, you
The
know,
middle school band.
join us for coffee and donuts, and they started early, and department heads will be there an hour early if you wanna come and talk to somebody about it.
Make a
this
little
and that.
social.
Do they do
You
it
know.
do they do it at night or on a Saturday during the day? What's their time?
It's on a day, and it starts in the afternoon when the department heads 4 o'clock or something.
Do the
They
work,
do.
yeah.
Selectmen's meeting starts 5:30 or something.
So they basically,
Great
by
idea.
running through it, it's a couple of hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Great idea.
But again, I think Michael asked the question, do you want to legislate that?
right.
And that's a different question, whether or not it's a dandy idea or not.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, I think
want
it's a great
to
idea,
legislate?
it's just a
Do
question.
you
of-
want to
yeah,
legislate
yeah.
it?
No, and really, the question of legislation is the two town meetings. Everything else is ancillary. But the real question is, do we want to legislate two town meetings? And that is the question we've been having along.
Yeah,
And we haven't come to any consensus, or we haven't taken a vote on it.
yeah.
We actually haven't taken a vote on
Anything.
anything. We're looking at a red line draft now, which is primarily consensus.
Yeah.
But we haven't said, change this paragraph,
Right.
yes, no, and vote. We haven't done any of that yet.
Wow.
We are really just going by consensus, and there are things that are on hold for
Good.
changes
Yeah.
because there's a split consensus. You know, there isn't enough support for it, so they're sort of sitting there and pending.
Mm-hmm,
So,
right.
okay, what else?
The 10-minute rule for speaking
It's too long.
is too long.
Is
I
that
mean,
in our,
I've
that's
been
in our, is
trying-
that in our charter
No, it's
No,
in our
that's
bylaw
your-
rules,
bylaw?
yeah. It's
It
just in
does.
that, so it's probably not in your wheelhouse, but
Isn't that your wheelhouse for your, because you run according to your rules?
well, no.
For town meeting, don't
no,
you?
we do have a bylaw that has the rules in it.
Okay.
And it says 10 minutes, 2 times speaking, of
Total,
the aggregate,
yeah.
not more than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Sounds
On
like-
every question.
yeah.
Sounds like a
Well,
job.
an article could have a couple of questions. One could be the First Amendment, and that's a question, and the same person can get up again, and George Lane knew how to handle it.
Sounds like a job
Crazy,
for the bylaw charter
you know?
review committee.
And
Now, my experience in other towns is they have a 5-minute limit, and they want to shorten that to 3. And it doesn't apply to the person presenting the article, it doesn't apply to somebody who's required to attend town meeting as a department head or the town meeting. I mean, there's exceptions in it, so you can carve it out so that somebody doesn't, you know, tell the superintendent of schools on a regional, hey, your 3 minutes is up, see ya, you know? So, but the 10-minute rule is,
But would
there was a lot of dribble at the last town meeting. It just went on and on and on and on, and I was patient, and I knew the 10-minute rule, and,
You're far more patient
You
than I
know?
would be.
Oh, yeah.
but,
Would you put it to 5 minutes?
I would put it to 5, you know,
Okay.
but I think I've gotta bring it forward and have it discussed in the town meeting. All power flows from the meeting, in my view. We get it voted on, see what they wanna do.
And we're
And we've
meeting-
already passed the time limit for private petitions and things like that, but this is a,
It's a bylaw
it's a,
change.
but
right?
it's still, but still, the articles were supposed to be in by, et cetera, et
But,
cetera.
wait, you don't need to do an article for it, it's a bylaw.
We'll have that at the fall
You
town
have to
meeting.
change
Yes,
the
you have
bylaw,
to
you
change
have
the
to
bylaw,
do
We'll
it.
do
that's
that.
an article.
Sandy, we'll do that at the
Fall
fall
town
town
meeting.
meeting.
Madam Chair.
I was just about to say that.
Right.
Thank you. There you go.
I'll tell the selectmen, aren't you having a fall meeting? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put this in
The
it.
other beauty of a fall town meeting is it's not predicated on the fiscal year's beginning either.
Are you okay with the 2 times speaking?
The 2 times speaking is okay. Although some towns have a bylaw that says you get a second chance only if everyone else who wants to speak has been able to speak for the first time.
Yeah.
I try to do that anyway. I,
Yes.
you know, try to get people who haven't spoken first before I go
Mm.
back to something.
Right.
But it's actually built into the bylaw.
Lou,
Do you want to legislate that? I
do you
guess.
wanna legislate that? But that's, I think being in the bylaws is probably the place for it, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
we can take that up
Yeah.
with the bylaw charter review committee.
Michael, I
Lou,
think
comment.
one flows from the other. If we have a pre-town meeting which allows the residents, the taxpayers to speak up, that's great. Because now we have a limit when you talk at the select board meetings, very short. Now we also shorten, well, the public, you want them to come to the meeting, but then you don't want them to talk. One is conflicting with the other. And we have to allow, I think, the moderator to be the keeper of the rules. He's got the gavel.
We do.
You can
and we
stop
allow
it at any
10 minutes.
time. We don't need to legislate that.
Yeah.
It's already been legislated.
It's
Right.
legislative
It's already
already
legislated.
because it's in a bylaw.
Right,
Yeah.
so, but we,
It's 10 minutes, and,
Yep.
and if anything, I unfortunately err on the side of giving them at least 10 minutes, so I.
and that's good. That's not an error.
Yeah.
But I also understand, I'll be devil's advocate here, I also understand wanting to reduce the amount of time that people has available to talk, because I've been in so many of these meetings, and people have not thought about, some people have not thought about what it is they're trying to say. And after they're done speaking for 15 minutes, I have no idea what their point is. So they don't come prepared with, I wanna make these 3 points.
Right, but the disorganized speaker is allowed to speak at town
Yes.
meeting, just as much as the organized speaker, so
But I
we have
get
to.
why the select
Yep.
board has wanted to,
I understand
down
too.
the amount of
Yeah,
time.
I understand, but we need to let the public,
yes,
the
we do.
taxpayers speak somewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Other things?
Sounds
Give
like
him
I
the
might
guy.
have opposition to the 5-minute rule.
5 minutes is.
Yeah,
fine.
now I
That's
have
a
to depend
long
on you
time
to-
for somebody to be talking about something.
See why sometimes consensus is difficult.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It is.
That's why we're here.
Yes, we are.
So those were just a couple of thoughts I had. But you said you wanted to get to the finance divisions?
Yeah, well, I just, we were interested in any input that you could have, and we appreciate this, because these are good things for us to chew on.
Happy to come back when you get to a stage where you're taking votes or something, if you had a question for me.
All right, thank you.
Paul can always get a hold of me.
And next time, maybe Paul will tell the chair that he's making these arrangements, because I didn't know. Okay,
Okay.
You think we ought to remove the term limits on the finance committee?
Sometimes it's tough to get people to be on the finance committee,
I understand.
so,
It was a very political move back in the day, but I'm not sure
Yeah.
it's necessary anymore.
I don't really have a strong feeling about it one way or the other, except that if you remove it, you've got more experienced people there. So,
How do you feel about that institutional knowledge for people who've served a long period of time?
I think it's generally very helpful. Yeah. It really is.
turnover is also helpful too, from
It is.
different viewpoints, you kind of have
Yeah.
both sides of it.
Yeah.
So you would support removing term limits?
Well, I wouldn't object to it.
Wouldn't object to it, thank you. Yep, go ahead, John.
I just have a couple questions.
Sure.
And they kind of concern, both of them concern the moderator's role and stuff. The first one, we have a space in the charter, it's 727, unexcused absences for committee members. That they can be declared vacant if they miss more than 4 unexcused absences.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. I would like to give the power to appoint a vacancy to an unexcused absence, either to the moderator, if it deals with the finance committee member being vacant, or a vacancy occurs. Because we have it in our red line right now, under the moderator, that if a vacancy occurs, someone just quits. That if the moderator doesn't appoint someone within 30 days, the members can elect someone in 30 days.
You mean appoint somebody?
Appoint someone, excuse
Yeah.
me, appoint
Okay.
someone to
The
30 days.
finance committee.
To the finance committee.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to that, the select board, that if a golf committee member resigns or vacants,
Yeah.
the golf committee or other committees can take it upon themselves to appoint
Yeah.
a member to fulfill the quorum. Because what happens if we're governed by the quorum on these committees? If we have 9 in the quorum, and we only have 7 members, we're still governed by a 5-4
Right.
quorum vote.
Right.
So that inhibits
No, you're not.
sometimes.
No, you-
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I thought
No,
so.
you're
is-
not.
You're not.
You're,
You
you're,
have to have a
you have to have a
quorum of
quorum to
members
start the
present.
you have to have a
quorum
quorum
to
to start
start.
a meeting.
I thought it was the elected or appointed body.
No,
No, you
It
have to
depends
have,
on what board you're dealing with.
Okay.
There are certain regulatory boards,
Yeah.
planning board and so forth, where
Mhm.
that is a consideration,
Yeah.
but many committees it isn't.
Doesn't, okay, so
Straight-
whatever
But-
the
straight
quorum, to meet the quorum thing. So those were just my 2 comments
Yeah.
there, that I'd like to see some wording put into the charter,
Yeah.
covering those 2.
Well, 30 days doesn't work, because by the time you put that ad in that's required,
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to go 2 times in the paper, and then come here and sit. And as many times as I put the ad in, come here and sit, I've never had a person come and see me
Right.
for the finance committee. Now, we've contacted people, and sometimes they come in, because the first thing I do is go through the list that, you know, the citizens' activity sheets that are there.
Mhm.
I'll go to the town hall, look through those, and try and contact somebody. I'm gonna be at town hall if you wanna come by, if I hadn't met them or something. But you can use up in that ad more than the 30 days.
Mhm.
By the time you know it's a vacancy, and so maybe 60 days before that
Sure,
kicks in.
whatever an arbitrary number, yeah.
Because sometimes you just can't find anybody, and God bless the finance committee, if they can find somebody, usually the chair of the finance committee is saying, hey, I know of somebody, and my response always is, tell them to fill out a citizens activity form, that's what I'm supposed to do, and then we'll get it through the system,
Mhm.
so that there's a record of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because right now, we
So-
have 30 days in our red line, we could easily adjust that to 60.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, it really doesn't give you enough time.
60 work?
well, actually, it says vacancies shall be filled by the moderator within 30 days after the moderator has been notified in writing of the vacancy.
Right.
30 days isn't enough, so you would say 60.
Yeah, because then I gotta go down to the town hall and find somebody at the selectman's office who will put the ad in for me, we write it out, get it there. And, you know, and it's gotta go run twice,
Yep,
so you're right up against the 30 days, even if you
Fine.
do it immediately.
I hear
Have
you.
no problem if after that, the moderator, whoever is at that point, is sitting on their hands, that there's a default provision. Makes sense to me.
Okay.
That the finance committee could appoint
Yeah,
its own person.
yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with
Okay,
Uh,
so you would say 60 days would be better.
it. Yeah,
30 days does seem short, because I
yeah,
know that
it's unrealistic.
when we started the Charter Commission, we all got elected in that May vote, you know, basically the middle of May, and we were supposed to have within X number of days before, after everybody was elected, we had to have our first public hearing. And we were scrambling, trying to get everybody.
Oh, I remember
together.
reading about that in the paper.
It was a scramble, and then you've done nothing, so I'm not sure.
The Chronicle covered your scramble, I remember
It
reading.
was a scramble, it was a complete
Even some
scramble.
charter members didn't attend this.
I believe it.
I got one
Go
last.
ahead.
follow up,
What
John.
do you think about a default provision? Does that
Oh,
work
I
for
think
you?
it's fine.
Yeah.
My question actually is more about the idea of the newspaper advertising.
Well,
If
it's-
nobody's looking at it, what's the point of requiring it?
Well, I think it's a transparency thing, the select board is supposed to do it on their vacancies too, I think there's
Well,
something
they
in the
don't
charter.
advertise it in the newspaper.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty
Post it
sure
on-
that this one says it's gotta be in the,
Yeah, you're
you know,
right.
you know, it's kind of a,
Is that necessary?
yeah, but
If you're not getting any response, and you've never gotten any response,
I've never had a person show up as a result of the, you know,
Yeah.
maybe I mean, they've always gone just in the Chronicle, but
Yeah.
that's kind of where people look, I think, for,
Yeah, it
No
is.
one reads the legal any
That's
longer.
right,
Yeah,
that's-
just basically people have no lives like us.
Nor are they dying to get on a committee.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
This-
no,
It's word of mouth.
Another question.
Hang on a minute, I just wanna make sure I've got my notes right, so the ad, 60 days would be best, I understand the transparency, and you wouldn't object to removing the term limits on the finance committee members.
no, I think it's, that's in the
Good.
charter.
Is that in the
isn't it?
charter?
The
I didn't-
section
can I-
right
can I
now
add something to that?
says,
Oh, what are we doing?
913, page 23.
913.
Vacancies in the finance committee shall be filled by the moderator within 30 days after the moderator is notified of the absence.
Yes. that's-
So,
We're just proposing changing that
It
to 60
already
days.
is 30 days in the charter, so
Well,
our
we're-
decision of
I
30 is
think
not new.
It hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked.
No, so we're looking to change that to 60.
So that's why we're
Yeah.
proposing changing it to 60,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Is the provision for the advertising in the charter, or is it in the bylaw?
I don't think it's
It's in the
charter.
charter somewhere.
I don't think it is any
I
longer.
think it is.
Yeah.
You didn't see it?
No,
It's
it's
not in the
it-
charter.
Well, hold on.
chapter 9,
Chapter 9 is where we talk about the
911. Yeah.
moderator?
No, finance committee, but the moderator.
No. Where's,
It might be in the moderator
Where are you,
appointments.
Rich?
No, that was just finance, but it might be in the moderator appointments, Michael.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
that's,
think
Which
it is.
is moderator,
Page.
page 3. Da-da-da-da.
page 3.
Yeah, see
How'd
if
he
we-
get to be so darn important?
It does require you to attend 3 meetings of the finance
I
committee.
never understood that.
Actually, it has nothing in the charter as it exists. It just says the moderator shall provide a town meeting,
Yeah.
parliamentary procedure, ad hoc committees, fiscal implications, blah, blah,
Section
blah,
5.
finance committee.
Moderator, right here.
I see.
So it's section 5, Michael, and the moderator.
Yeah, but that's,
And it goes on,
Under
section
six
2
three.
and
Chapter
3.
2,
Six-
section
What,
5.
what section is it?
Chapter
Town
2,
meeting.
section 5, chapter 2. So it's up right up like the third page,
6
Michael.
3
The ad-
what?
That's
the
what I'm
ad's
saying,
in there,
third
right?
page.
No, we don't see it. That's why
It's
we're.
not there,
No, it's not.
All right, I'll find it.
but select,
It's be like page 3 of the charter.
Section 3 describes the moderator, it's not there.
Right. Under chapter 2 of town meeting, Michael, and then in section 5 under town meeting is moderator.
Where's the one with the 30 days, Paul?
That's in
back
section
near the
9.
that's
FinCom.
913.
Chapter 9,
Financial provisions, 913.
Yeah.
that's the red line version. That's where we're making the change. Nowhere does it say the ad in there, which might make your life a little easier.
No, it's here somewhere.
Okay.
Well, it's also not under select board, because there's a section in the select board on powers of appointment, and it doesn't say anything about putting ads in the newspaper.
And
Is it a bylaw, Michael, maybe?
Maybe it is, or
Yeah.
maybe I've,
I thought it was in here too, Mike.
Okay, well,
I haven't seen it anywhere there. If it is there, do you want us to change it?
well, it hasn't worked.
So let's change it.
well, what would
But,
you propose to do in place of it?
Just get rid of the bylaw.
Well, we should definitely get rid of the requirement for you to attend finance.
I
That's
think the
just no
finance committee
purpose,
would
right?
object to that. I sat on the finance
I never understood
committee.
why it was in
Yeah,
there.
I don't consider it.
Because the theory was that the
Cashiering
person who's
that.
appointing people should at least have a sense of how they're functioning.
Well,
And
they
I
do.
certainly do. I see them at town meeting. I go to their meetings before town meeting, so I've actually covered myself by showing up at finance committee meetings, whether I walk through or not, but to me, that's attending a meeting. And the true test of how they're working is watching them at town meeting. I've always approached, not to go off, but I've always approached the moderator's job as one where I stay out of the business of the finance committee. Because I think people want to know that they've got somebody up there running the meeting, or moderating the meeting, not running the meeting, moderating the meeting, who doesn't have a dog in the hunt.
Yeah.
Is not buddies with the finance committee and is looking to get all their recommendations, or goes to all the finance committee and hangs. I try to let the finance committee do their job under the charter and not get involved in it, not direct them. I've had people call me up and say, can you call that son of a bitch and tell him he can't? And I say, they must be doing a great job. That's all I say, you know?
I think we need to put that term under definitions.
He's talking about me?
Yeah, probably.
So I never understood.
I don't know where that thing is, I don't know where it is.
Probably bylaw.
It's probably a bylaw.
Yeah.
Okay, you
But-
think
This is
so?
about-
Michael, would you want that taken out either from bylaw or charter?
Well, I don't know if it should be taken out. I mean, I don't want to express interest in cutting out something where somebody might see it. I mean, I know it's been 50 years and no one's ever showed up, but
50
that's
years
the
is
test of
is a
time,
pretty good
but
test of time.
It is, you know?
But again, I'm gonna go back to the question, which was, You can take out the newspaper. How do you tell the public that there is an opening on the finance committee? They're not gonna know it by osmosis.
Right.
The same way they're told about all the other vacancies on
Would
committees.
you suggest that,
Well, maybe you do, maybe I'll submit some language to you. Maybe what happens is when the moderator receives the written notice of a vacancy, he or she shall notify the Board of Selectmen,
Yeah.
require, cause it to appear on the town website
Yeah.
as a vacancy, and maybe, set a time when the moderator will be at town hall, and that should be on the website to interview interested people, rather than through the newspaper
Yeah,
twice
right,
and
yeah.
publish.
that sounds
Maybe the
fine.
website would work better.
Yeah.
But put an obligation on
But
who's ever
that's all-
moderator
But
to
that's-
act.
You
Yeah,
want it
that's
to
what
be-
I'm trying to
No,
get
no,
to, is you can't just take it out and replace it with nothing.
That's right,
So this would be,
yeah.
That would work.
that
You
would be,
can, but
You can, but I don't think that would be met with
I see a fundamental flaw.
acceptance. I think people want to see transparency. They want to,
Yeah.
they're all about that, so.
go
Linda,
ahead, go ahead.
I see a fundamental flaw in our
With
thinking,
what?
if I may. We know that people bring in other people into the committees. That's the number one way, it's recruitment. Yet we want people to stay on the committee for a longer period of time, which means that they run through the group that they can bring on board. So we're creating a cycle that isn't fixing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so the new person comes on, I have 3 people. I might have 3 people that I can drag into this meeting. But you know, after those 3 people, my sphere of influence is gone. That's the same with everyone. You know, Peter Hughes tried like crazy when he was chair of the finance committee to get a few people I know on. And you know, he got one, but then that was it. So we have to be careful with how we structure these committees and term limits and so forth.
I think it's a job of any chair of any committee
So
to
how is
replace
that,
themselves.
how is that a fundamental flaw in
Yeah.
whether you put it in the newspaper?
Because it creates a cycle. No, it has nothing to do with the paper in
You
terms
tell
of.
You got it, what Chris says, this has nothing to do with
Yeah,
that.
this is the term limits.
Got it.
That brings this around to.
We
Well, we're not
already,
doing, I'm talking on term limits.
Okay, that's fine.
we already
That's-
had that conversation.
Well, I didn't get an opportunity to speak up, so I decided to at a different point in time. So,
Just like a politician, it doesn't matter what the question is, I'm gonna answer for this.
well, my hand was up for a half hour. It got tired.
Yes, sir, Richard.
Do we have anything else from the town moderator?
I have one more quick question. Mr.
Yes,
Moderator. I noticed in the warrant this year, there's another warrant article for, I'm not sure of the correct name, for different electronic voter tabulators. and-
Clickers.
anyways, Clickers. There's another request for $40,000 this year. I guess last year we rented them as a trial.
We didn't rent them,
We
we
didn't
were
rent them.
authorized to. This will be our first year.
Oh,
So an RFP is going out through the town clerk's office
But-
with the assistance of the town manager to get,
well, we are gonna
Bids.
have them this year,
we'll have them this year.
but this is a new warrant request for another
There was an article-
$40,000.
That's what it costs each year.
Right,
Oh, okay. I
If
thought
they
we
work,
bought
they'll
them.
probably ultimately go into the budget
right.
Yeah.
and not be a separate article. But I think they think that they're not sure whether they're gonna work, so they're running it as a separate
Okay.
article again.
Okay, because
I
I
think
thought
that's the
we
history
had
of
the
that.
option of renting or buying, and we
Yeah.
decided to rent.
We
just
looked
see-
at all of that, and
Okay, that's fine.
renting the first couple of years makes a lot of sense.
Okay,
See
perfect.
if it works,
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
rather than do the
I
capital
just saw the
outlay.
40 and I thought, geez, I thought we bought these things.
And getting back to your education, Sandy, when these clickers come in, Emily and I are gonna have a meeting before the town meeting. Come and learn how to use it.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
All
good
right.
premise for a pre-town
We
meeting.
could
Yeah.
That's
have
a
that
great
as a
premise.
pre-town meeting.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
We
Great
need to
idea.
make a party out of this. Talk to Carolyn.
Yeah.
She does
Yeah.
parties really
We'll
well.
get some food and maybe we can get some music.
Yeah.
One more
That's
question.
an excellent idea.
One-
You good, John?
I'm good.
Okay. Sandy,
One last, just for your opinion, impression, and because of how well you know people in this community, Michael, if we were to change a town administrator to a town manager,
Yes.
what
It's
do you
the
think
title.
what do you think the reaction? Well, it's all in the title. And
I just
people
wanna
are
make sure
going
it's the title.
people are going to, well, because there's no legal definition for either one. It's in the contract, what we do, and we can call him George if we want to. But if we were to call it a town manager, do you think that would put people off?
I don't think so,
You don't think so?
no. I think there are those people who are looking for the town administrator to have more authority as a manager.
Hmm.
But
More
And-
than
and-
the other way
and
around?
you start with the name.
Okay.
And then you go and look at some of the appointments and, you know, maybe there's more appointments that a town manager should be making that aren't subject to a after-the-fact veto or
we are,
We're working
We're
on,
working,
we're working on that. Yeah.
those are some of
We're
the,
working on
some
that,
of,
yeah.
some of the proposals we
Yeah.
have is that
and
Moving
by
the
calling him a
finance
town
director.
manager, it just changes the whole perspective. And the selectmen begin to get the idea, hey, maybe we really are policy people, like the charter says. So the name means something.
So do-
And
but
I don't
do
see
you-
people being
I
upset.
mean, you can structure a town administrator with the same kinds of power as a town
A
manager
manager,
has.
but when you call him a manager, it just,
But you think that would be more of a positive for people
I
than
do.
a negative?
I do.
I do.
Okay.
Those who are watching this at home, that was a profound statement by the town moderator.
what,
He believes it starts with the name.
Yeah.
Starts with the name. Allows the select board to look at more policy.
Interesting.
and I have put in a request to the Collins people as to what are the trends around the Commonwealth, town manager versus town administrator.
Have you heard back?
That was just a couple days ago,
All right.
so haven't heard
I
back
think you'll
yet.
find there's a trend towards managers.
I think there is too. I think I recall them saying that, but I just wanted to verify that. I'm okay with calling the person the town manager.
Well, I have a feeling by the time we get to working this through the system and getting it on a ballot, people may like the idea a whole lot better anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. One of our objectives is to, as Sandy put it, to put up guardrails. That everybody stays in their lane, and that the town administrator / town manager is running the town. And the select board are supposed to be policy and vision and planning and strategy.
Right. And not communicating with department heads unless it's through the manager.
We
See, I'm
that
already
too.
calling him a manager.
Right.
Someone's been watching our meetings.
I haven't seen your meeting.
You haven't?
No.
Well, we've been watching yours.
Anything else that you would,
Yeah, I wish I could find the requirement to advertise.
I don't remember seeing
Probably
it in
bylaw.
there. It's probably a bylaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I've got a note here to
Right.
look into.
Well, I'll go
whether it's a
home and
bylaw.
have pizza and look for it there. If I find it, I'll text you.
Give me a
It is
text.
It is mentioned in the charter somewhere else for other things to be advertised in the
Yeah.
newspaper. I don't know what they were, but they were.
Well, zoning.
At the time, it was probably good.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Well, at the
Times have
time, we didn't
changed.
have the internet. When
Right.
the original charter was written.
But I'll
there
provide
was
you
no
some
internet.
language about, if, when the moderator gets that written notice, that they have to take certain affirmative
Please
actions.
do,
Yeah.
please
Maybe
do.
not the
No, right.
advertisement,
There's
but
no-
get a hold of selectmen, get it on the website,
No idea what
put
website.
on the website when you'd be at town hall, and,
Chat rooms?
because
would
I
lo-
think frankly, people look at the website for that.
Well, people
As you
have
say, they don't read the
transitioned.
legal
They don't read the legal
section.
ads anymore.
But people have transitioned from 1987, when we had no internet, we didn't have cell phones,
Yeah,
and they really have transitioned to where they get their information from, and we should move
God,
with it.
I'll
Because
speak to the new
which-
town manager, and maybe he'll get me coffee and donuts for
What
people when they come
what
in.
happened
I have a
when
question
we were
for you.
meeting by candlelight back in the
Coffee,
day?
Donuts.
forget
I
the
know.
donuts, coffee.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Right now, the warrant, according to the charter that we have, the warrant gets published in a newspaper of general circulation. Is that a requirement under Mass General Law? Or could we say, the warrant in its entirety shall be posted to the town website? That's not good wording.
Yeah, I don't think the
but-
website's enough, but you could use, an electronic publication. The piece of paper I gave you from Orleans,
Yep,
I think has a provision that broadens that. We worked on it. If you hand it back to me, maybe I can find it and tell you which one it is.
Because the town used to print it and mail it.
Yeah.
Which I think is
Printed in
still,
the Chronicle now.
I think we should still be doing.
In Wellfleet, the warrant gets delivered to each household,
Yeah.
You want people to come?
and if it's not delivered,
The
you hear
constables.
about it at town meeting.
They got constables, right?
Yes.
Still appointing those.
Do you miss it?
Oh, sure.
Do you? Yeah.
But I thought 2 terms was enough.
Wow. I gotta get out of the line of sight here.
On a
What
quick
was-
scan, I didn't see it in
Paul,
there.
3 years, is that what the term was?
It's probably in some other section.
Yeah, hold on a second.
And you followed Alan?
Yeah.
So to your knowledge,
Oh, yeah, here's the change we
50
made.
years of moderator experience here, 50 and not.
one person at a time, please. You got it?
Look at 241.
Okay, can you hold those pieces back?
Yes, that's the other one for her.
Thank you. 241,
241.
241.
So what we did was require that it be put on the website, right in the charter,
Yeah.
and that it be in a news outlet, because news is changing, you know.
Right.
Papers may not be published in the traditional sense anymore,
I know.
and that language could become out of date.
News outlets such as what?
Chronicle Online.
Yeah, a local online
Yeah.
newspaper.
And with,
Which requires everybody to have access or ability to,
Yeah,
and not everybody does.
But they
Still,
have it
there are
available.
A lot of people go, oh, computers. I mean, they just don't. I don't go online. I don't do this, I don't do that. And
yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. That was debated, and they decided,
yeah,
the advancement of civilization, we're going with it. As somebody said, a lot of people don't buy newspapers anymore, so why do we have to require them to buy a newspaper?
it's interesting.
And actually, even if we publish it in the Chronicle, you don't get it unless you have a subscription to the Chronicle.
See, that's not correct. Incorrect. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago with people from the library. All of these periodicals, Cape Cod Times, Cape Cod Chronicle,
Oh, sure, they're in the library.
they're available free of charge online. So you, as long as you have a library card, you can access any one of those, many periodicals through their website free.
That's
A
true.
lot of people, especially a lot of older people, have no relationship with computers
But you'd be
at all.
surprised. We had
I
we had
hear
them,
ya.
yeah, we had them speak at the men's club. 50 guys. The majority of guys have library cards and are using it. It blew me away how many were doing it. And these are all retired guys. Surprised me, very much so.
Well, it's, but again, is it required that you print it in a newspaper? 'Cause I haven't heard a yes or no to that.
It's required to be published in some form,
So required to be published in some
but
form.
but you're
So the
not bound, in
so
a
the
charter, you
website-
got the authority to call it a news outlet as opposed to
Got it.
a paper.
But in terms of Mass General Law, you have to publish it somehow, which
Yeah.
could be a website, an electronic, or this
Yeah.
or that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say in Mass General Law, it has to be a newspaper.
But,
correct.
but in theirs, Orleans does have town website and
Right,
published in a news outlet.
right.
News outlet.
Yeah,
There you
Orleans
go.
is both.
That's this one here.
You've got the whole
Because
thing?
it says and.
I was given Orleans,
Oh, you were you?
so I have it, and I bring it with me so I can,
Oh.
and the Yarmouth too.
Any other
That's
questions
awful.
for our town moderator?
No?
Yarmouth is awful anyway.
We have, Michael, just so you know, as you talk about making the town administrator / manager stronger, we probably will be proposing things like the finance director should be appointed by the town administrator manager. The human resources person, we've moved some of those over to the town
Town manager,
administrator.
Yeah, okay, all right. So,
Because we thought that made sense.
makes sense. Well, I think you're
Yeah.
doing a yeoman's job. How often do you meet? Every week?
If you're waiting, for 18 months.
Pays good, though.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten my first check.
It's coming.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So,
I just want to refer the committee to the recommendations of the Capital Outlay Committee to this August body. in which we typed out that the 971, we publish in one or more newspapers of general circulation as well as by electronic means, which
Right.
may include the town's website.
Mhm.
That's a provision.
A little
that
more
we
expensive, but if you
suggested
did it both
to this
ways,
committee.
who can argue with you?
I think that's-
So it already
Still-
is there if we
Yeah.
adopt the provisions of the cap.
But I think if we're gonna make changes to both the warrant.
No, but I mean, the language is here.
I've got it, and it's, that also can be changed without putting it into a newspaper.
So
The
we
only
get
other
Mike
side-
dismissed?
Yeah, no, I
The only,
think, yeah.
the only other side of that problem that is unsolvable is if we indeed have a newspaper of local
Right.
circulation.
Yeah.
Because
Hank.
who's to
I know.
say
I know, that's the
at this
problem.
point whether
Yeah.
they,
Hank's gone.
Yeah,
they say they're gonna keep on going, but, you
I
know,
know,
sometimes it doesn't.
I know.
Jeff Bezos
Not
got a lot of
not,
money in the
not
post.
a concern
he's
for
gonna buy the
the,
So,
this
It
committee.
You
should
buy
be,
it.
it is a concern, given what
Cancel
we
my
put in
subscription
by
right
way
now.
of language, if we do something like the outlet thing instead
Right,
of newspaper,
That
then we don't
covers.
have to worry about
Right.
that.
that's right, that's another reason we did outlet.
I was just commenting on whatever the Chronicle people do is not a purview of this committee.
True.
Unless they're not there, and then it is, because we need to put something other than
I think,
newspaper.
yeah.
I understand
We'll have a
that.
discussion about it.
I understand that, however,
So,
before this is voted on, it's gonna be another year and a half, so,
No, it's not.
Oh, it isn't.
yes, it is. Sir,
One more question, Chair. One of our provisions calls for, if it's considered anyway by the committee here, to potentially have a member of the Capital Outlay Committee appointed by the moderator, as opposed to the planning board chairman. Any sense on that requirement? Have you,
what's the thinking behind that?
the thinking is that we need an odd number. Right now, it's 2 finance committee, 2 select board, 2 2 town administrators. And the 7th member is appointed by the planning board, which is a question of what does that have to do with the capital outlay any more than some other bodies in town. So the thought was, one thought the capital outlay committee had was to go to 5, but there's also a sense of, and support, I think, more from our discussions internally here, was to keep it at 7, but consider having the moderator make the appointment rather than the planning board chairman, as a more neutral field.
Okay.
I
Well,
thought
the
that,
planning board-
what we got from the capital outlay people, Paul, I believe, was to get rid of the planning board person and have 3 members appointed by the select board. I don't recall
No,
a
no,
member
no.
being,
No, with all due
appointed-
respect, Madam Chair, that's not correct.
okay, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
as I recall.
Just when
I
I'm
don't
on the
re-
committee, I
I know,
drafted this.
But I also have the stuff that we got from,
Okay.
the chair,
Right,
so
right. The point is,
do you
Do
wanna
you have an
appoint
opinion?
somebody to the, would it make any
If
difference?
it was added as a requirement, sure.
Do you
If
think
it
it's
works,
necessary?
I would defer to whatever the recommendation of the Capital Outlay Committee. I mean, they've obviously thought this through as to how to figure
Makes
out their
sense.
membership.
makes sense.
And if you are cleaning up the charter, it doesn't have all the things the moderator appoints anyway. I appoint the Caleb Chase Trust Fund
Mhm.
members.
Mm-hmm.
I appoint,
Fence viewers.
on occasion, I do appoint fence viewers and field drivers. I appoint,
Constable, used to,
what's that?
duly appointed constables.
Yeah, constables are elected now.
Yeah, constables are elected.
Yeah, yeah. So, I believe, aren't they elected positions?
Appointed by the select board.
Appointed by the select board.
Excuse me, yes,
Keep
select
them
board.
appointed.
They are
Yeah.
appointed.
Used to be you.
Yeah.
Used to.
And then there's one other. Oh, the building commissioner is the surveyor of wood and
Oh,
lumber.
that's right.
Right,
So I usually say the duly appointed building commissioner in case there's a fight over who that is, as the surveyor of wood and lumber. Now,
But it's not
Jim Noonan, I
exhaustive.
appointed Jim Noonan as a fence viewer one time. the only time I've ever heard he commenced a hearing, mediated a fence argument that was on the boundary line, called my office, I don't know how many times to figure out what the law was, and it was wonderful. It really was.
He was the best
It was vintage
fundraiser.
Jimmy,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
He was the best fundraiser in town.
I don't think I've pointed another fence for you since.
Yeah. Don't remember Jim.
No.
I tell you.
So, Madam Chair, I leave you with a reference to section 714.
Wait a minute. Let me find it.
Before making appointments to the Finance Committee, the moderator shall also make an effort to seek out qualified persons to serve and cause a notice to be published,
Oh, there it is.
enumerating the
yes.
vacancies to be filled and setting forth the location and the time and the date when the moderator will be available to interview persons willing and able to serve. The advertising of vacancies on the Finance Committee shall be published in a newspaper of general circulation in the town and shall be made once a week for a minimum of 2 weeks after the vacancy arrives.
Thank you for finding that. because
714. I
we were
knew
all
I had
looking
Change
for
to
it.
news outlet, change to news outlet.
So,
We'll make,
it's on page about 15.
I'll send you a little language that I'd ask you to take a look at. It's
Please.
your call, not mine.
No,
but
that
it
would
was
be
what-
no, we want to get rid
You
of
don't
it.
have to change it at all, but I'm just, you know.
No, I think if we do something similar to what Orleans has done, will cover us under both areas. And if you
Well,
have,
I think Orleans is still advertising for their vacancies.
still,
Yeah.
So I think what Michael is proposing is he's gonna give us some language for 714 to fix this.
no, I think, great, I think that's fine.
And you may say, okay, that's great language, we're gonna keep the requirement to publish, and maybe your obligation to put it also on the website, will get somebody
Yeah.
to respond. You can do whatever you want, but I don't think you should cut out an obligation to do something
Absolutely.
public.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the public knows.
But if you've been doing it in a newspaper for 50 years and you've got nobody, it makes, I mean, that is a true test of time.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Am I dismissed, Madam Chair?
Dismissed.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
sir,
for
for
coming.
coming.
Thanks,
If you think
Mike.
of anything
Very
else,
good.
shoot me
Yeah.
an
Good
email.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy your pizza.
Guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
I think his pizza's cold.
Steal
right
some
now.
of that energy from the grandkids.
Yeah.
Yep,
I know.
it's gonna be a quick wrap up tonight.
I know. I think that we had some other things on the agenda, which is continuing.
Electronic voting this year.
Yay.
All right.
But there was another section of the red line.
I think
There was the capital, there was the capital plan and the financials. I think we just move those to next
Next
week
week,
because
yeah,
it's already
exactly.
8.
It's too much time.
And
Okay, so we will move those to next week.
I have no
This was a
energy.
good session.
Yeah, it was good.
Very good, very educational.
That's where the institutional knowledge comes in.
Oh, for sure.
All
Well, and
right.
different viewpoints of institutional knowledge too, because everybody has he's had a whole different set
Oh,
of
yeah.
experiences. So-
No, it's
All
great.
right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Richard. Second, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
The finance committee would like him to come this weekend.
Oh, no.
I never saw him.
Obviously, he feels a little differently than that.
I never saw him in 6 years.
Can we, somebody shut that
He
machine
hasn't
off?
done it, probably ever.
Stop talking, the meeting is over.
Yeah,
We can still talk, we just can't talk about deliberative
That's
items.
what we're doing, so
okay.
I would like us to shut
Stop
the
talking.
machine